So the real estate market is shifting. And if you've been wondering if now is the time to get into the game, pay close attention. Inventory is on the rise. Prices are softening in certain areas. But for investors who know what they're doing, this is when the real money is made. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to another video. So I'm going to cover 3 key points in this video. Number 1, what's happening in the real estate market right now? Number 2, where are the home prices going to end up in 2025? And number 3, which is most important, how can you use certain strategies that's going to work really well in this market in order to take advantage of it while minimizing your risk? Plus, I've got something for you. I know a lot of you want to get started investing in real estate, but you're afraid of the risk. I'm going to share a document with you that's going to allow you to partner with other investors in order to minimize that risk. Stay tuned until the very end. I'm going to share with you exactly how to get access to that document. So look, let's get right to it. What's happening in the real estate market right now? Well, here's the big picture. Inventory is up. Based on this report by Redfin, we had 3.7 months of supply, which is the highest it's been in 6 years. And that's a drastic change from where the market was at back in 2021, where we had less than a month's worth of supply in certain areas. So what does that mean for real estate investors? Well, it means 3 key things. Number 1, more properties available equals more negotiation power. Number 2, less competition from retail buyers equals more creative finance opportunities for real estate investors. And number 3, softening prices in certain markets equals potential discounts on undervalued properties. So if you're a real estate investor, you can easily see the opportunity that this market presents. Now, here's the deal. As I've said on this channel multiple times, and I'm going to say it again, real estate is a hyper local business. What works in one market may not work in the other market. What's happening in one market may not be happening in the next market. For example, you could have one market where it's cooling off drastically. Inventory is high, nobody's buying, but then you can have a market right next door where it's super hot. Everybody's buying. So you really got to look at real estate from a local perspective. And that's why you don't look at headlines. You don't look at the news. You don't look at the hype that is being presented through the media. You got to look at local data, local opportunities, and then you make your local real estate investment decisions based on that information that you were able to do your research on. So now that we know what's happening in the real estate market with the rise in inventory and the opportunity that presents for real estate investors, where are home prices going to be in 2025? Well, here's what we do know. 5 years ago, on average, the median home price was right around $286,000 at a 3.6% interest rate. Fast forward to today, the median home price is $446,000 at a 6.5% interest rate. So what does that mean? That means that mortgage payments have literally doubled over the last 5 years. So we understand that mortgage payments have gone up. They doubled. What about income? Well, based on the same report, income has only gone up 20%. So congratulations, you received a 20% pay raise, but you can't afford to live in a house. You can see how that can easily cause affordability issues when it comes to owning a property. So what happens next? Well, it all boils down to supply and demand. For example, if mortgage rates drop, then demand can shoot back up. If more homes hit the market, then prices can level off or even dip slightly. But what happens if we hit a recession? Well, that can lower demand even more while creating more opportunities for real estate investors because more motivated sellers will hit the market. So no, we're not headed for a market crash like back in 2008. I've actually experienced that market crash. I've been in the real estate industry since 2002. But what we are seeing is an opportunity for real estate investors to buy more properties creatively. And that's where smart investors come in. How can you take advantage of this market? Well, this is where things are going to get interesting. If you're smart about it, then you don't need to worry about high mortgage rates and overpriced properties because you're going to be playing by a completely different set of rules. So one of the first strategies in order to take advantage of the opportunities in this market is seller financing. Now, this is a strategy I've talked a lot about on this particular channel. In fact, this channel is a hub for information just like that. In fact, one of my most viewed videos on YouTube, it has over 3 million views. It's called How to Buy Your First Rental Property Even If You're Broke. You can check it out right here. That video talks about seller financing. I give you a step-by-step blueprint on how to do it. Now, why does seller financing make sense for this market right now? Well, it's simple. With rates still relatively high based on where it was in previous years, being more affordable just 5 years ago, a lot of sellers just can't list their properties right now and expect a bidding war like they were able to get over the last few years. Mortgage rates have doubled and income only went up 20%, so less people can afford to buy a property. That's where seller financing comes into play. Here's why seller financing is a golden opportunity right now. When it comes to seller financing, you avoid traditional lenders. So you don't need to go to a bank to get a loan, which means that you can literally negotiate with the seller and create your own mortgage rate. The best part about seller financed properties is when it comes to seller financing, these properties are already paid in full. You can't do a traditional seller finance deal on a property that has a mortgage. You can only do traditional seller finance deals on free and clear properties. That means that the property is completely paid off. So what does that mean for you as an investor? That means you can pay lower than what today's market rate is by negotiating that market rate with the seller direct. You can avoid huge down payments on these properties, and you don't have to qualify for these loans. So no qualifying for the property, no credit approvals, no bank headaches. So like I said, you can negotiate better terms when it comes to seller finance deals. Now, another beautiful part about seller financing is you have options. You can either keep the property as a regular traditional rental, you can short-term rental that property, or you can create a rent-to-own opportunity like I covered in that video that I popped up. Either way, you have options when it comes to seller financing, and you don't have to pay all of these fees to the bank. You can deal directly with the seller. So how do you go out and find these types of deals? Who's your avatar that you're looking for? Well, in order to create really good seller finance opportunities, you can focus on tired landlords. You can focus on expired listings. You can focus on people who are looking to sell on the MLS or for sale by owner in a slow market. You're looking for a problem that you can solve. And the more effective you are with solving that problem, the better the deal is going to get for both you and the seller. So seller financing is your first opportunity in today's market. Now, another strategy that you can implement is buying distressed properties where market swings don't matter. So if you're focusing on buying distressed real estate, meaning properties that have physical or financial distress, then you can focus on foreclosures, you can focus on tax liens, or just plain old motivated sellers. Again, what you're doing, just like the first strategy, is finding a problem that you can solve. As a real estate investor, the more problems you can solve, the more money you will make in this business. But one thing you want to keep in mind is you're playing a different game than the traditional housing market. Why? When you focus on buying distressed properties, you're buying at a steep discount. Market dips won't hurt you because you're buying right. And properties that are in distress are not affected by interest rate changes the same way retail properties are. Plus, not only is there demand for affordable houses right now, there's always demand for affordable houses. So by focusing on distressed properties, you provide yourself with multiple exit strategies. You can flip the properties, you can rent the properties, you can wholesale the properties, you can seller finance the properties. There's multiple exit strategies when you focus on this type of opportunity. So where do you find these types of opportunities? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I'll provide you with a few here. A couple of different ways is through pre-foreclosures and auctions. If a seller is going into foreclosure, a lot of times they'll sell before the foreclosure if you approach them early. This can help them in a lot of different ways. It can save their credit, they can get out of the property, and eliminate their headaches. So try to reach sellers that's going into foreclosure or going into auction beforehand, and you'll have an opportunity to negotiate something with them. What about probate properties? These are people who inherited a property they probably don't want. What if they live out of state and they own a property out of state and they can't afford two properties? What if they don't want to maintain two properties? Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of different reasons why people who inherit properties sell at a deep discount. A lot of times they just want the cash. If you can provide that with them, again, solve their problem, then you'll provide yourself with an opportunity to create a deal in this market. And as I've mentioned before, burned out landlords, tired landlords. These are people who maybe they have a free and clear property, but they just don't want to deal with tenants anymore. Maybe the tenants are wrecking their property, or maybe they're ready to retire. They just want to get out of this situation. These types of sellers are more than willing to offload their properties fast if you can provide them with a solution. So the second way that you can make money as a real estate investor in today's market is by focusing on distressed real estate. What about the third way? Well, just like seller finance, and another great way to buy real estate in today's market is through other creative finance strategies, stuff like subject to investing, stuff like lease option investing and wraparound mortgages. These are all strategies that I cover on my channel. But just to provide you with a little bit of detail here, basically when it comes to subject to investing, you're literally buying a property, you're taking ownership of the property while leaving the mortgage in the homeowner's name. So you get the deed, and the mortgage stays in the homeowner's name. Why is that beneficial? Well, let's say they bought a property a handful of years ago and the mortgage rate was a lot lower than what it is today, but they're going through financial issues. What you can do is take over their existing mortgage at the lower rate in order to be able to alleviate them from the stress that the property is causing them. Lease options. This is like renting a property with an option to buy the property. So you don't even have to go to the bank to get a loan. Interest rates don't matter when it comes to that type of investing. Wraparound mortgages. This is like creating a second mortgage on a property that wraps the existing mortgage, and you can negotiate that directly with the seller. Again, saving you money, saving you time from going to a bank and getting a high interest payment. So these are all different strategies that you can use as a real estate investor effectively in today's market in order to make money as a real estate investor. The opportunities are presenting themselves as the market continues to soften up. And whether the market is hot, whether the market is cold, whether the market is stagnant, these are strategies I've been using for over 20 years. I've been through multiple market cycles as an investor, and I've always used these strategies and made money as an investor. So those are your top 3 ways to make money in today's market as a real estate investor. And this works no matter what the market is doing. Now, another great way to make money in real estate, no matter what the market is doing, no matter where you're located, with almost zero risk, is through joint venturing on deals. And if you want a free agreement along with a video training on how to use that agreement in order to get started partnering with other investors in your local area or even virtually, then be sure to check the link in the description box for a free download and a free video training where I'm going to show you exactly how to get started using this strategy in today's market. So as you can see, the market is shifting, but this is when smart investors start to build wealth. Wherever there's a problem, there's an opportunity. You have to identify what the problem is and know how to solve the problem in order to be able to benefit from the opportunity. Most people sit on the sidelines waiting for the perfect time to invest when the market starts to shift. But the truth is, the best time to get started is when you know how to structure the best deals, when you become a problem solver. So what you plan on doing? What's your move? Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you're going to focus on distressed real estate investing. Maybe you're going to focus on joint venturing or even creative finance. What do you plan on doing? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Also, I don't do a lot of market insight videos, but if you like this style of video, let me know in the comment section as well. I'll be happy to put together more videos just like this. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.